Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, it's over. The Minnesota State High School hockey season, the tournament has come and gone.
Darn. I was having so much fun.
Yeah. So was Duluth East.
So
up until the final game of the year.
I must have too. I lost my voice.
You know, let's talk real quickly. Duluth East went down and they beat St. Michael Albersville in the opening round, 5-0. First time St. Michael's had been to a state tournament, and they went up against Duluth East, 5-0. Duluth East wins. Game number 2, Edina and East. My goodness, what a game. Duluth East prevails 4-2, and it's almost like they had control the entire game. I mean, there was just a feeling that they were going to win this game.
Well, they stopped that breakaway from Jungles from the first line from Edina, the first 4 minutes. And from then on, East started, got a goal from, there you go, Mr. Every first 2 games, he got that goal in the first period, and that just got the team going.
Edina scored first. East scored second to tie the game at 1. That was, and then Ian Meju put Duluth East ahead, and then Frederick Payne got a goal in the 3rd period.
The fluke goal.
Oh yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah.
We watch. Okay.
Yeah, you don't see
he
that.
He gets over the
day.
red line and just flips it up in the air. He's just throwing it in the zone.
And the goalie made a blocker save, and it bounced up and over him. My goodness.
And then come back and hit his back into the net.
Is Mason Nevers of Edina related to Ernie Nevers?
Not Ernie Nevers. Oh, I don't know if that, but there was a Nevers back 20, 30 years ago, was top sports athlete in every sport. Football, baseball. He got a pro contract in baseball, hockey.
And that was his...
I can't think of his dad's first name right now.
Oh, was his dad?
His dad, yeah.
Okay.
He was a great athlete at Edina.
Yeah. And then Garrett Worth scored an empty net goal. Duluth East 4, Edina 2. And talk about that game.
Boy, the atmosphere was amazing. Hockey fans all over Minnesota were looking forward to this game. On the street, they were selling tickets for over $100.
Unreal.
125 at the ticket places and that. People were buying them. They didn't care. They wanted to be in the house.
I don't see an attendance figure for that game, but had to be a packed house.
Yeah, it was packed. But what was so funny, Minnetonka and Centennial game after that, usually a lot of people leave after that first game, then they sell tickets again.
Yeah.
So that way, that's how they get to 21,000 sometimes. Well, people weren't coming in for the second game, so just stayed there. It was around 19,000 again.
So again, Duluth East wins their first 2 opening games, and then they get to go to the championship. And we're hoping that maybe a 20-year reunion. The '98 team won it. Hopefully, the 2018 team can win it. But Minnetonka, the Skippers, second time there, had never won the tournament, and I don't know, maybe they were a team of destiny. Minnetonka prevails 5-2, and Duluth East played well. They hit a ton of posts, ton of pipes, and it just wasn't going their way.
Well, Friday night, East got some puck luck. Saturday night, they didn't get any puck luck. They had a lot of chances. They had a lot of power plays. They didn't connect on. Their power play, I thought, was the problem mostly for that game because they had about 6 or 7 power plays. And I didn't see one good power play that they had that many scoring chances. So I think that was the biggest thing. But I always said I was doing some podcasts with some radio channels down there.
There were no penalties in that game. Or no, that was the previous Edina game.
Yeah.
There were no penalties in that Edina game.
They let them play.
Yeah.
I was doing some podcasts, and I said, if they let the players play 5-on-5, East is going to beat Minnetonka. But if they don't, there's a lot of penalties. Special teams, Tonka will take them.
Yeah.
And I said that to all these guys, and they, and that's what happened.
So Duluth East comes home with a second place trophy in the Class AA tournament, not too bad. You can count Minnetonka the best high school hockey team in the nation, and you can say Duluth East is the second best high school hockey team in the nation. And boy, what a tournament.
Yep. That's the first time Minnetonka won the tournament.
Yes.
And it was the first time in the Class A, Orono beat Alexandria. It didn't matter who won that game. It would have been the first time for those two teams.
Geez,
Orono won that game 2-1. That was a pretty good game.
I'm trying to visualize my Minneapolis Western Metro, and Orono and Minnetonka are
pretty close to each other.
Real close.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I think this is a good outcome. Did I want Duluth East to win this? Of course I did. But being somewhat neutral, I'm not totally upset over this outcome to the degree where, well, I didn't go to East, neither did you, but we wanted East. We're good friends with the coach, Mike Randolph. Of course.
All northern Minnesota wanted East.
Of course we did.
And plus a lot more people, because there's just a lot of people don't want Edina.
Or any Metro team, for that.
Sometimes, yeah.
But, hey, Minnetonka, the Skippers, first time state championship. That's great for them. And I thought it was a pretty neat story that the Minnesota Wild's Darby Hendrickson, his son Mason plays for Minnetonka, and Chuck Fletcher got a hold of Coach Bruce Boudreau and said, why don't you let Darby go? Tell him he can go home and watch his son play in the state championship game. And at first, when Boudreau said that to Darby, Darby declined. And then he thought about it, and Boudreau says, go home. And Darby says, all right, Coach, I'm going home. And he went home and watched his son win a state championship. What a thrill for Darby.
Right.
Yeah. So we've got the class, or no, what is this here? This is
the all tournament teams for Class A and Double A. That's Class A and that's Double A.
Hometown team, Hermantown. And by the way, Hermantown, boy, I'll tell you, I thought that they could maybe pull this one out, but Alexandria, they were a team on a mission, and they beat Hermantown. And Hermantown went on and won the third place trophy. Who did they beat in the third place again? Matamidi?
No, they beat, let's see, Matamidi, 4-0.
Yeah. So I thought that was quite a statement that they would take third place, 4-0 shutout. And guys in Hermantown, man, that's not too bad to come home with a third place trophy from the state championship in boys in Minnesota high school hockey. But Blake Biondi and Darren Goetz, both named to the all-tournament team. Boy, Blake Biondi, he's a sophomore.
Right. He'll be back for 2 more years.
And his dad, Joe Biondi, played for the UMD Bulldogs. And he stayed here. He came here, played at UMD, stayed here, and then Blake got an opportunity to play at Hermantown. And, boy, he was probably the best player on the ice for Hermantown all tournament long.
Right. Well, that second game with Alexandria, that if that first line doesn't score, Hermantown's going to have a hard time. Yeah. And Alexandria stopped that first line.
Yeah.
There was just nothing there in that first line in that game. But they came back in the third place game, and they did a good job then. So
I think
give them credit.
I think this is good for high school hockey, though, Jer, that 2 first-time, well, Alexandria first time there, Orono first-time champion.
Right.
So you were going to have a first-time champion in Class A, and I don't have any problems with these outcomes. But Duluth East, or rather Duluth Hermantown, the Hawks, new coach.
Right.
Andrew, is it Patrick Andrews?
Yes.
My goodness.
Did a good job.
He did. He did.
A lot of pressure on him, I think.
I agree.
And they showed Bruce Plant in the stands and everything.
Yeah. Alexandria had 4 players off their team to go to the all-class, all-hockey tournament team from Class A. Orono had 4 players. Thief River Falls goaltender Nick Corneliuson. Matamidi had a player as well. Let's go over to Class AA, all-tournament team. Edina had 2 players, Ben Brinkman and Mr. Hockey, Sammy Walker.
Yep, I called it all year.
You did.
He was a hell of a player.
St. Thomas Academy, Rob Christie, all-tournament team, Minnetonka. My goodness, 5 players off that Minnetonka team. Bobby Brink, Charlie Gleckner, Grant Doctor, Joe Molinar, and Josh Ludke. And then Duluth East, 3 players, Ian Meju, Luke Lemaster, and Parker Cleve, the goaltender. I got to tell you, he
played good. He was steady.
He really did.
Right.
I was
and,
impressed.
Garrett Worth, that first 2 games, boy,
Yeah.
he was a snipe. I mean, I like that kid.
You know, it's hard to watch this high school hockey and not compare some of these guys to maybe even college hockey teams. They're so poised in Class AA. You know, they make some high school mistakes, but overall, a great tournament. Did you talk to Coach Randolph?
Oh, a lot. I talked to him every day. I didn't, not the Tonka game, because I had to take a friend to the airport.
Okay.
So, but the first 2 days I went to the press conferences and talked to the players and him. And I saw him at night at some of the East fans were celebrating.
You know, you don't get to watch the games on TV because you're at the games. I watch the games, and Lou Nanny, of course, is an analyst. Who's the guy that does the Jim Erickson?
Jim Erickson.
And what's his background?
He does St. Cloud State on radio.
Okay.
All the St. Cloud State
Well,
games.
they do a good job together. And honestly, I've never quite figured out all this hatred towards Lou Nanny.
Why? Well, because he used to always put a little effort on Edina all the time.
Well, his kids went there, his grandkids. I mean, that's to be expected. But I thought this go-around, I didn't see
for a guy
any
that's
bias.
been around 50 years plus now,
Yeah.
I mean, he's done an amazing job.
Lou from the Sioux.
Yeah.
Sault Ste. Marie, that is.
Right.
And a former Minnesota North Star, a Minnesota Gopher. I think it's kind of neat that Lou continues to do this. He's a Minnesota hockey legend.
So the next day they had Mr. Hockey Award, and like you just said, Sammy Walker, Edina won Mr. Hockey, but the goalie of the year, the Frank Brinzik Award, Atticus Kelly, St. Thomas Academy. I said that too. Those 2 players.
Really?
But, yeah. But they have a new award about 3-4 years ago. It's called the Reed Larson Award for the top senior defenseman. And our own Duluth East, Luke Lemaster won that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Really?
And then some first, like, well, we already mentioned. Oh, the first Edina player ever to win Mr. Hockey was Sammy Walker.
Wow.
So you think about it, all the great Edina teams,
Yeah.
even just in the last 10 years, they won 3 state tournaments. This is the first Edina player to win Mr. Hockey.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, if you think about it. And like we already said, first time Minnetonka won the state tournament in Orono in Class A. And then coaches of the year in Class A, we got our own Northland, Grant Clafton, Greenway, Coleraine,
good.
coach of the
That's
year.
a good choice.
He did a good job, and boy, he was just
An overtime,
one goal away from going to state.
Yep.
And then St. Michael Albertville, first time to state tournament too. Their coach, Jeremiah Johnson, won the coach of the year for Class AA.
No.
So
Yeah, I think that this tournament, this lineup, if you will, I think this was good for the state of hockey. And this is going to bring a lot of more interest, excitement, fans. St. Michael's, Albertville, Orono, Alexandria.
Yeah.
You'd been calling their name all year.
they've been to the state tournament before, but this is a team.
I thought this was their first time.
No,
Okay.
they've been to state.
All right.
They've been to state a couple times, but going back on third place game in Class AA, this is unbelievable. I was watching the whole game. Edina played Centennial, and they beat them 11-0, and it's running time, the third period. They could have beat them 15-0. So it just goes to show you, some teams don't want to show up for that third place game, and some teams say, hey, we're seniors, let's go out and get them.
I agree.
So
I agree.
But so Edina won the third place game in Class AA, and then St. Thomas won the consolation with a 6-2 victory over St. Michael Albertville.
Yeah.
And then let's see, I have another one. And Hermantown won the third place game for Class A over 4-0 over Montemita. Consolation, Thief River Falls 5-1 over Mankato East. Hey, Thief River Falls started the year out like 2-6, and they just started coming in. Their goalie started playing excellent and kept the team in games, and they won a few, and they started getting confidence, and there you go. They bring back home some hardware.
Yeah.
That's nice. So the northern teams really did pretty good down there.
Well, again, Duluth East played well enough to win that game. They hit the pipes more than they had hoped. Couldn't put the biscuit in the basket. And, that's the way that it ends up. And being that it was Minnetonka's first championship, maybe it was destiny for the Skippers at the expense of Duluth East, but there's always next year. And who returns next year for Duluth East?
Well, the big players will be Ryder Donovan, the North Dakota recruit, and then they're going to be a good team.
Good.
They're gonna have a good chance to go to state again. Andover, Elk River, Cloquet will be real good too.
How about Hermantown?
Hermantown, I think, will be a little slack for 1 year or 2 years.
How about Duluth Marshall?
Duluth Marshall, I think, lost a lot of good seniors.
All right.
So it depends on who comes up there. They can find some kids.
Okay.
But here's a little funny thing I was going back on because Duluth East and Edina have played each other in semis a few times, and 5 times in the last 8-9 years, and 6 times overall. In 1995, when Duluth East beat Edina in semis with the Dave Spihar time, they beat them 6-2. They won the state tournament. But listen to this: 2000, Duluth East beats Edina 4-2. They lost in the championship 6-0 to Blaine. 2011, Duluth East beats Edina 2-1 in an overtime. They lose to Eden Prairie in the championship 3-2 and 3 overtimes. 2013, Duluth East loses to Edina 3-2, but then they win because they lost.
Wow.
They win the third place game, 7-3. 2015, Duluth East beats Edina 3-1 in the semis. Then they go out and lose to Lakeville North 4-1.
Sure.
So when they win, they should not play Edina in the semis. Play them in the finals. That's my thinking.
Well, again, congratulations to Duluth East, Coach Randolph, all the boys, and second place in the state of Minnesota. I'm going to call it second place in the nation in high school hockey. And
I'll tell you
they played their hearts out.
There was 3 good teams in this state tournament: Edina, Tonka, and East.
Yeah.
And either one of them could win that state.
Yeah.
That's how good they are.
I agree. Yeah.
So congratulations to all the teams.
It's got to be tough for these boys that this ends. Now tonight there is the high school all-star game Kern and Company puts on, and that'll be at Mars Lakeview Arena. So this will kind of be the last game for some of these boys. But when this state tournament ends, their hockey's over. At least those that aren't committed for a short period of time. But no more practices, no more games, and life starts to get real, Jer, where now you got to think about school and college coming up in the fall, and you'll get to reminisce and share stories with your buddies for the rest of your life. And
come to think of that, on Friday night, they had the 1998 state championship Duluth East team in town to get together.
Yeah.
And I met a whole bunch of them on Friday night.
Good.
So that was good to see that. And that, like you just said, it's the rest of their life now.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be buds for the rest of their life and talk about this.
Yes.
This is something they can always get together now for the rest of their life.
It hurts so bad, right now. And now that a few days have gone by. A good showing for Duluth East. If we could real quick switch gears, UMD Bulldogs and the NCHC playoffs. Really, UMD will play at Denver on Friday.
Right. Boy, tough game.
Yeah.
Well, this year we played them 4 times already, And each game was one goal difference.
I think they have 1-goal games with Denver in their last, 10 games.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it?
Going back to last year's
How
championship.
even are two teams,
Well, UMD's due for a win.
But they play at, I think, 7, they call it 7:38.
7:37.
7, okay.
Yeah, so UMD at Denver this Friday. North Dakota will play at St. Cloud. That's a 4 p.m. And again, Friday the 16th, NCHC. Here we go.
Yeah, I think North Dakota has to beat St. Cloud State if they want to get to the regions.
Men's Division III, locally, well, state at least, Augsburg University, based in Minneapolis, the Augies, they'll play St. Norbert on Saturday the 17th, Men's Division III. And then the Bulldogs, Adrian, will play Wisconsin Stevens Point for Division III hockey. And then there's some other East Coast teams. WCHA, Michigan Tech at Northern Michigan.
Right.
My goodness. Minnesota State out?
Minnesota State, no. They're going to be in they lost in the tournament.
Okay.
But they're in automatic.
Okay, so the WCHA championship.
They're about, they're 6th place in the pairwise.
Okay,
They're
all
in.
right. So Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, WCHA.
So that just brings an extra team in, so that makes it harder for teams in the pairwise that can be dumped.
So this is the WCHA championship. Tech at Northern Michigan.
And the winner goes to the regions.
This Saturday. Big Ten, Ohio State at Notre Dame.
Right. So you got number 2 and number 4 in the pairwise. So that's
Minnesota Wild, 69 games in. They have a record of 39, 23, and 7, 85 points, 7-3-0 in their last 10 games. They lost Saturday in Edmonton 4-1 after a nice win on Friday over Vancouver on the road. 13 games remain, Jerry, in the regular season. Minnesota will host Colorado tonight. Colorado, 80 points. Right now in the Western Conference, you have Nashville, 44 wins, 98 points, followed by Vegas, Winnipeg, and then Minnesota. Minnesota, 85 points in the Western Conference, followed by San Jose with 83, Dallas with 82, Los Angeles with 81, Colorado 80, Anaheim 80, St. Louis on the outside with 79 points. Minnesota's got to keep winning, and they got a tough schedule.
Well, they got this Colorado right underneath them and LA Kings, and they got both of these teams this coming week, within the week. So these are big games. But the good thing about it is that Colorado and LA Kings are playing in St. Paul, and we've been doing pretty good in St. Paul this year.
Well, let's hope it continues, because I'd like to see the Wild get into the playoffs and not be bounced out. That'd be a big letdown. The Wild are playing well. Eric Stahl, definitely got to be the team MVP to this point.
Boy, I think he's going to get 40 goals.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's
What's he at,
13 games.
35?
36, 37.
That's where he's at?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had it down someplace, but yeah.
Well, I know Charlie Coyle scored the only goal Saturday at Vancouver. It was a nice win at Vancouver on Friday. My goodness, Friday was a hockey-filled day. I didn't even see the Edmonton game, but nice win for the Wild on the road at Vancouver on Friday. And again, do you have the schedule? I know the Wild play, tonight? They host
You got Colorado tonight. Friday night, they go to Vegas. I bet that's a tough ticket to get now, because Vegas is playing so good.
Yeah.
A lot of Minnesota people out west and that.
Sure.
So that's on Fox Sports North at 9:30 Central Time. And then Saturday, we go down to Arizona. And
Again?
We better beat them this time.
Yeah, we better.
Jeez, the last 2 times we didn't show up, did we? That's at 8 o'clock. I guess they don't do daylight saving time out there.
Right, they don't.
So that's on Fox Sports North. And then we got another, on Monday we come back home and play the Kings, LA Kings. Derek Forbert, our local boy.
Yeah.
Duluth East.
Okay.
I was just thinking, Duluth East has 3 players this year that played in the National Hockey League. Andy Walensky for Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
We got Dom Toninato for Colorado.
Yeah.
And then Derek Forbert.
It's a great trend. I hope it continues.
Yeah, that's good for the locals.
Now, Pionk, is he still up with the Rangers?
I haven't checked. I've been busy with that high school.
I think he is.
Yeah, that's good for him, too.
Yeah. The Rangers, boy, they started out well. A lot of hope, a lot of promise. And they're not going to make the playoffs.
Right.
So the high school season is over. Mankato beat Duluth East in Class AA. And Alexandria lost to Orono in Class A. Final thoughts on this high school season?
Well, we're talking of all the good players coming up on the draft and watching all these teams and that, and there's so many good juniors. Next year's draft is going to be loaded, they say. And we might even have a couple first-rounders in Minnesota. So
In the NHL draft?
yes.
Who?
We got this Ben Brinkman for Edina.
Yeah.
And Donovan, they look at him as the third round right now, but let's say this kid gets tougher.
You're talking Duluth East?
Yes. If he gets tougher, he can move even up.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a great skater right now. He's got size. So, I mean, there's a lot more players, but we're talking some of the teams even. We got some of the same teams are going to be back. We know Tonkin and Edina are going to be back, but a team that we haven't heard from probably ever, Chaska. They got 4 D1 players. So they're looking at that team. We got Duluth East is going to be good. Andover, they expect them to be in the top 5. Team that just was, I mean, they had East 2-0 going into third.
Yeah, they sure
So,
did.
I mean, they got almost every one of their players back.
I was surprised East came back to win that game because
Right.
Andover was very confident, and it just seemed like things were going their way. Also, in that championship game, Duluth East outshot Minnetonka 31-30, and boy, I'll tell you, when they scored that opening goal, I thought, all right, there's a lot of hockey to play. It's the first period, 7 minutes in or whatever it was,
Right.
And then Minnetonka just poured the bolts, as my old friends used to say, to Duluth East, and
Then when Austin Jopi got that second goal for East, made it 3-2, the stands and everything got crazy again, you know.
Yeah.
They thought, hey, this is going to be a game.
well, it just wasn't meant to be for Duluth East this season. Don't hang your heads, guys. You had a great season. You came home with a second-place trophy, and like Jerry and I said, you'll have memories for a lifetime to talk
Right.
about this season.
And another talk that was a lot of talk was Hermantown again,
Yeah.
being in Class A. And, hey, people are saying they think Hermantown's going to jump up next year to Class AA. So that's a wait and see, but that'd be great, I think. I think to see them with East and Marshall and Cloquet or Rapids and those 4 teams in semifinals at the Amsoil,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
Well, that's it for this episode of the Minnesota Hockey Connection. We'll be back here next week. Maybe have a few things left on high school hockey. We've got the All-Star game that's going to be played tonight. We're taping Tuesday, but we'll be back here next week to drop the puck. And Jared, we'll see you then.
Yeah, we got 4 teams in college hockey D1 that still have a chance to go to the finals. I mean,
Again, look for us on Facebook and like us there. Our YouTube channel, check us out on YouTube, MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. We want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, where this program is produced downtown in City Hall in downtown Duluth. And again, we'll be here next week to drop the puck. We'll see you then.